Hi guys, so now we'll go through the complete process of submitting our book on Amazon's KDP. First, we have the book title. For this field, I don't want you to write anything except what is literally written on your book cover. Any extra letter, or extra space, or literally anything that is different than what's on the book cover will lead the book to be rejected until the issue is resolved. Next field is the subtitle, and for this one, you write whatever main keywords you're targeting, along with the book dimension and paper count and of course the book genre. Next we have the series option. Skip this one as it's useless for us. It's mainly designed to help authors who publish sequenced novels or books. The next field is the edition number. Obviously isn't useful for us as well. Next fields are for the author details. Here we'll only use the first and last name fields. So for example, first name would be Dave, and second name would be publishing. Therefore, the final name that'll be published under the book title will be Dave Publishing. By the way guys, before choosing a name for your author publishing name, make sure it's not already trademarked. You can use trademarkia.com or trademarks411.com to check for live trademarks to avoid, and they're totally free to use. And no, this is of course not a sponsored ad. No one even knows me guys. It's just the platforms I personally use. And with that said, let's keep going. Next field is the contributors data. Leave those fields empty as there are no contributors in low-content books, unless you actually have contributors. Next is the description, and unlike merch by Amazon, this field on KDP is the most important one, as when your buyer reaches this step of checking the description, your title already got him, and he probably likes the cover. So now he's evaluating what will be inside your book. For example, what does your logbook contains, or what elements does your tracker covers, or how many drawings are in your coloring book, and the list goes on. So always make sure to write your description as detailed as possible. And in the same time, don't make it look like an essay. Look at this one for example. Pretty detailed, straight to the point. But wait, there's one more thing. It's not just a standard text. It has italic texts, bold ones, and even underlined ones. And here guys is the second trick that barely someone talks about, which is to always write your descriptions with an HTML editor or the KDP built-in editor. Personally, I've always used an external HTML editor for my description fields, and lately I've been told by some friends of mine that the KDP built-in editor had issues. So in that case, use any regular external HTML editor and you'll be more than fine. There's a lot of them online for free. Use any of them, then convert the text to HTML code. Then copy and paste it into your description field. Next, we have the publishing rights field. Mark it according to your book and move to the next. And for the new guys, if you're wondering which option I go with during my own uploading process, I mark it as my own copyright of course, as I either bought or created the interior. Therefore I own the interior. I designed the book cover and own it as well. So technically no one is allowed to redistribute it as it's not a public domain. So good so far. Let's move on. Now we're at the keywords phase. Here we have the 7 main interests to play around, which are distributed as follows: age, career, relationship-based, food, and the 3 left fields are all niche-based. Wondering what the hell does all of this even means? No worries, I got your back. Let's take it step by step. First we have the age field. Here we see which age group are we targeting. Now let's take vegan hikers as our example. We'll be targeting teenagers up to those at their mid-40s. Therefore, we'd write the following: hiking journal for vegan parents of teenage squads. That way, we've targeted our main keywords along with our age group. And guys, try to avoid repeating your book genre. For example, we won't write journal in every field. Instead, we'll write different variations for this genre. For example, journal, logbook, tracker, hiking diary, and so on. Repeating a word won't harm your book, but the system will just ignore the duplicates, so it's a waste of potential keywords that might do very well. Next field we have the career interest field. Here we need to do a little homework before writing a word. So let's visit Google for a talk and ask him what are the common careers among vegans. But unfortunately, We'll end up with no valuable information for this search term, but we'll find an interesting fact during this visit, which is that 79% of vegans are actually women. Awesome, now we're a little bit closer to what we want, as we'll search for the common careers among women. And there, we will find that they're mostly located within the medical fields. With that info on hand, I'll target nurses and veterinarians as a main targeting. And with that info on hand, you may also target pet shelters and animal adoption houses. And the final result would be like this. Great for veterinarians and hiking vegan nurses. Next, we have the relationship-based field. This one is pretty simple. It's where we mention the most common relationship status for our target audience along with our main keyword. So the end result would be as follows. Delightful Married Vegan Hiker's Trip Logbook. Hope you guys following along, let's keep going. The food-based interest field, usually. This one would require a visit to Google, but for this one, we just stick to this. Natural hiking food for vegetarians tracker. So good so far. Now we have the last 3 dedicated fields for the niches. For these 3 fields, guys, it's just a mix of synonymous for your niches. They'll act as filling words when any of the main 4 keyword fields matches up with a buyer search query. An example for them is the following. Hiking, camping, hikers, mountaineers, bouldering. The most important advice about this last 3 fields is to actually look up for good known synonyms. I guess you get the point by now. Moving on to the categorization. This one does not require any explanation actually. Amazon did a plus job with giving us all the possible categories we might need. The only issue is that we don't have a category search option. So unfortunately, you'd need to go through tons of categorization labels to get to the ones you need. But the good news is, you'll get to used to the categories mess with time, so just be patient for now. And guys, I have one more insider tip for you. Once you get some sales for any book of yours, you can contact KDP support to ask for one more category to include for your book, as Amazon only let us choose 2 categories only during the setup process. The third one must be requested manually. And by using this trick, you'll be ahead of the competition by 30% extra exposure, which will eventually reflect on your conversion rates with time. Last point, make sure that if your book contains any adult content, then make sure to not write anything directed to kids in any field of your book submission, whether it's the title, subtitle, description, or even the 7 keyword fields. So with that said, we've covered everything for the first step of your new book submission. And let me assure you, the hard part is already over. The rest is a piece of cake. So, we're on the second page now. First, get assigned a free ISBN. And for those who don't know, ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number, which is a unique number that gets assigned to only one book around the globe. Back in days, this service used to cost us money. But now, Amazon has included it completely free. Let's skip the publication date. It's useless for any low-content book unless you're famous as hell. Next, we'll need to choose the paper type for our book. In most cases, we just go with the black and white interior with white paper, as it's the standard paper. But of course, if you believe a different paper type is better for your book, please feel free to go ahead with it. It won't make a difference in our submission steps anyways. So, next, we got the trim size, which should be the standard 6 inches by 9 inches. And for the bleeding, choose no bleed. And for the cover, I personally go with matte covers, but you can choose the glossy cover if you believe it'll look better on your book. And finally, upload your interior PDF file and your cover design in PDF format as well. And that's it. They'll take a few minutes to be fully uploaded. Then you'll be able to launch the previewer. And guys, pay attention to the previewer so you can spot any issues that might come up before publishing. And if everything is on point, you can click approve and you're done. Time for our pricing setup before submitting the book for review. First of all, make sure to not check the expanded distribution under any circumstances, as the third-party company responsible for distributing the book has officially decided back in 2019 that they're not planning to accept any more low-content book for expanded distribution. That means your book might get rejected or held up for modifications anytime. So let's minimize our risks and let go of expanded distribution. Next, we have to set a dedicated price for each country. And here's how the pricing works. Amazon takes 40% of the price you set, and you're left with the 60% left as a royalty. But you won't receive it fully though, as the printing cost will be deducted from your royalty. So for example, if you set a price of $10 per book, with a printing cost of $2.15, your royalty would be $6, minus $2.15 for printing, so you'll end up with $3.85. Hope you're following along. And if you wonder how much should you price your books, I'd highly suggest pricing it near the minimum price that Amazon allows. The low price will attract buyers over time. And once you get good reviews, then you can start raising the price bit by bit. That way you'll speed up your BSR ranking process, along with easy reviews build up due to the high quality and low pricing strategy. So, with that said, we're now ready to submit our book for review. So, yeah, that was it for this 5-sequence KDP classes. Hope you enjoyed my company through those 5 videos. And if by any chance you liked my content, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription to my channel. And best of luck for all of you guys. Cheers.